Have you ever paused for a moment and asked yourself why, even when life appears to be going well on the surface, you still feel a sense of emptiness or numbness inside? Maybe you have a good job, supportive friends, and a comfortable home, yet there's a lingering feeling that something is missing. You might find yourself moving through your days almost on autopilot, checking off tasks, smiling when expected, but feeling strangely disconnected from your own experiences. If you've ever felt like you're just an observer in your own life, you're not alone. Many people experience this sense of detachment, and it's not because you're cold or unfeeling. More often than not, it's because you're in what's known as survival mode. Today we're going to explore what it truly means to be in survival mode, how it subtly shapes your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, and most importantly, how you can begin to break free from its grip and rediscover the vibrant, authentic self that's been waiting beneath the surface. Let's start by talking about your authentic self. This is the part of you that's naturally curious, creative, and open to new experiences. It's the version of you that feels deeply, loves wholeheartedly, and expresses thoughts and feelings without fear of judgment. Think back to when you were a child, before the world taught you to be cautious. Maybe you sang loudly, danced without caring who was watching, or asked endless questions about everything. That was your authentic self in action, alive, spontaneous, and unfiltered. But as we grow older, life inevitably teaches us to protect ourselves. We encounter criticism, rejection, or even trauma, and we learn to hide our quirks, to silence our voices, and to mold ourselves to fit in with those around us. This is when our survival self steps in. The survival self is like an internal bodyguard, always on the lookout for threats, always trying to keep us safe, even if it means hiding who we really are. It's a natural response to a world that can sometimes feel unpredictable or unsafe. When you're living in survival mode, it can show up in countless subtle ways. You might notice a constant undercurrent of anxiety, even when there's no obvious reason to feel worried. You might find yourself saying yes to things you don't want to do, just to avoid disappointing others or causing conflict. Or maybe you keep your true opinions and feelings to yourself, afraid that speaking up will lead to rejection or criticism. Survival mode can also make you feel like you're always performing, always wearing a mask, always on guard for the next thing that could go wrong. It's exhausting, but it's not a sign of weakness. In fact, it's your mind and body's way of trying to protect you from pain, disappointment, or emotional harm. This protective instinct is deeply rooted in our biology. Our brains are wired to prioritize safety above all else, and when we sense even the slightest threat, whether it's a harsh word, a disapproving look, or a stressful situation, our survival self jumps into action. It tells us to shrink, to hide, to blend in, to do whatever it takes to avoid danger. But here's the paradox. The armor you build to protect yourself can also become a prison. The walls you put up to keep out pain also block out joy, connection, and love. The masks you wear to fit in can make you feel invisible, not just to others, but to yourself. Over time, you might start to forget what it feels like to be real, to be seen, to be loved for who you truly are. You might even start to believe that your true self isn't good enough, that you have to keep hiding in order to be accepted. This is a lonely place to be, but it's not a life sentence. The first step toward freedom is recognizing that you're in survival mode and understanding that it's not your fault. It's a natural response to the challenges you've faced, and it's something you can gently begin to change. So, how do you begin to break free from survival mode and reconnect with your authentic self? The journey starts with awareness. Begin by noticing the moments when you feel yourself shrinking, hiding, or holding back. Pay attention to the situations, people, or thoughts that trigger your survival instincts. Ask yourself, what am I afraid of in this moment? What part of me am I trying to protect? Sometimes just naming your fears can take away some of their power. Next, try to gently invite your true self to step forward, even if it's just for a moment. This might mean expressing a feeling you've been holding in, sharing an idea that feels vulnerable, or taking a small risk that lets the real you shine through. Remember, you don't have to make huge changes overnight. Even the smallest acts of authenticity can begin to shift your experience. Maybe you wear an outfit that feels like you, even if it's not what others expect. Maybe you say no to something that doesn't feel right, or you reach out to someone you trust and share a piece of your story. It's important to remember that your survival self isn't your enemy. It developed for a reason. To help you get through difficult times, to protect you when you were vulnerable. In many ways, it's a sign of your resilience and strength. But now you deserve more than just survival. You deserve to live fully, to experience joy, connection, and meaning. With every small act of courage, every honest conversation, every time you choose authenticity over approval, you reclaim a piece of yourself that may have been lost along the way. This process takes time, and it's not always easy. There will be moments when you slip back into old patterns, when fear or doubt creeps in. That's okay. Growth is rarely a straight line. What matters is that you keep coming back to yourself again and again, with compassion and patience. You are not cold, you are not broken. You are simply learning to come home to yourself, to rediscover the parts of you that have been hidden or silenced. Take a deep breath. Thank your survival self for getting you this far. And then, gently, invite your true self to step forward. The world needs the real you, your unique voice, your creativity, your kindness, your courage. You deserve to live as your most authentic self, not just for others, but for yourself. Imagine a life where you wake up excited to greet the day, where you feel connected to your own heart and to the people around you. Imagine feeling at home in your own skin, free to express your thoughts, your feelings, your dreams. This is possible, and it starts with one small step at a time. If this message resonated with you, I invite you to take a moment to reflect on your own journey. Where have you been hiding? What parts of yourself are longing to be seen and heard? If you found value in this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need to hear these words. Together, we can support each other on the journey back to our true selves. Remember, you are not alone. We're all learning, growing, and healing one step at a time. See you in the next video.